I heard you mention post game, so I'm kind of curious if you could describe Friday's practice for us.
After the Michigan State game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got up the next morning. I think it was an 8 o'clock game. We got up the next morning at 7 a.m. and went to their weight room and lifted. And then we came back and watched the entire game film. And I just wanted them to see, not so much even just execution, but just our effort and our competitive spirit. And, people can talk about long flights and all that. Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, when you're playing in a environment like that, like, if you can't play hard, there's something wrong with you. And we didn't play hard for whatever reason. And Michigan State, like, they came out there physical. They had great energy. The place was rocking. I don't know, 16,000 people. I don't know how many people were there. There's a lot. And we didn't respond the right way. We didn't come together like we had been doing for about the past month. And it was kind of one of the first times we didn't really respond to adversity very well, probably since that USC game. And we showed it to them. And I think some guys, they got some truth. I didn't make up the film. Like, everything we showed them, they did. And obviously I had to do a better job, making sure they were more ready than they were. And then we got to Ann Arbor that night and had just basically a toughness practice. It wasn't shots. It wasn't cute stuff. It wasn't offensive stuff. It was all, how are we going to start to win games? And I didn't care how tired they were when we played Michigan, because we did the same thing the next day on Saturday. And we just have to and I've been saying it, we have to just continue to get better every day. And we regressed against Michigan State. And so I wanted to make sure, win or lose against Michigan, it didn't matter. I wanted to make sure that we got a lot done on Friday and Saturday. And then you showed how, our guys showed how they competed on Sunday against Michigan. Like, that's a damn good team. And they're a hard matchup, not just for us, for everybody, with their 7-footers and their pace and shooting ability. I mean, they just went into Poly Pavilion the week before and won by 20, and that was another sold-out game, but our guys fought, did we win? No, but our guys fought, they scrapped, they competed, and they played together.
I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but, when we talked to Raekwon Battle, he talked to us about some of the practices.
Yeah.
What's a toughness practice look like?
How it was on Thursday and Friday, but my teams were built different at Montana State. Our team right now, we're not built like that. And we need to recruit to get it built like that. I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. We have to, and I guess I have to have more practices like that, because obviously it got their attention. And some of the stuff that we practiced, we applied it in the game. Like, some of our box outs, some of our wall ups at the rim, guard and penetration, our ball screen defense, we applied all that stuff in those hard practices Friday and Saturday to the game on Sunday. And so maybe I've been too soft on some of the guys, but like, moving forward, like, that's just what it is. That's got to be our standard. And even if it doesn't result in wins this year, it will eventually down the road.
We talked quite a bit about this schedule of games going through and the quality of the teams, but the thing that's kind of jumping out to me is you're back home with Purdue.
Yeah.
You got to go down to Eugene for a one-off, then come back here for UCLA for a one-off, back to Minnesota for a one-off, and then back. Do you get any input whatsoever on this schedule, or in the off season will there be discussions about that?
No. And to be like, no. And they don't really care what University of Washington basketball has to say either, and we got to earn it, and not that anybody's getting preferential treatment. Like, I'm not saying that, because I don't think that's true. But, just the way the schedule fell this year, like, it's hard, it's brutal. I mean, the whole month of January, we played a top 25 ranked team. And moving forward, they're all ranked up and, to this point. And so it's brutal. I think when you look at they rank the strength of schedule in conference, and I think we have the second hardest schedule right now. And I'm sure after tomorrow night when we play Purdue, it'll jump to the hardest schedule in the conference. And then projected at the end of the year, it was the second hardest schedule, which you think it's even in the league, but there are so many teams in our league, it's not even, because some teams we're playing on the road, some at home. The only teams we're playing true home and home is just the West Coast schools, and so you can't complain about it. That's why we joined this league. We knew it was the best basketball league in the country, and it's proven to be that.
One more. Your new guy Dominique is here. Just first impressions.
He hasn't practiced yet. He obviously joined us in Detroit. He flew in. I can't remember what night it was, and but he didn't get cleared with his physical until yesterday. So actually, today he'll get on the court a little bit.
And thanks for that right there. Like, just anything that you can expect from him, like you sort of talked about it last week. Like, hey, you know what? Let's pump the brakes. Like, to think that he's going to come in and when other guys have been doing it for so long, but he is here now, and and like you did have a chance to at least see him. What can we reasonably expect from him this year?
Yeah, I don't know. We still haven't decided if he's playing or not, and and that'll be a decision for him and his camp. I mean, there's a lot to learn, but he looks the part. He's almost as tall as Tyler Harris. He's 6'8". He's really fast twitch and aggressive. He's played at a really high level over in France. He has a competitive spirit that personally I like. Like he's gonna, and I hope it keeps coming out in practice. But he's gonna fight you, and those are my type of guys. Like guys, it doesn't matter where you go. Even at Michigan State, I saw him looking in the crowd. This is a kid that just flew over from France. He really hadn't been in the U.S. all that much other than his official visit last summer. And the first gym he walks into is the Breslin Center at Michigan State, where it's packed with 15,000, 16,000 people going bonkers. And so, but I could tell, he was, and I looked at him and I was like, man, what do you think? He's like, I love it. That says, not everybody loves it. And he's one of those kids, I think, from everything that I've gathered.
And then any update on Frank?
No, Frank, he's ready to go. He's got to get back on the floor and play. Yeah. We've gotten some results back from some doctors. He had some testing, over a week ago, and his knee's looking as good as it's ever looked. And it's, for having, 3 surgeries in the last 3 years, to get some of the numbers back of percentage, like what both legs look like, it couldn't get any better. So.
Any ETA then?
It's on him.
Game? Oh, okay.
It's on him.
Mm-hmm. Just how would things change? I mean, obviously, with this last game, you go up against 2 7-footers, and then your 6'11" guys not there.
Yeah.
How would you guys look differently with Frank out there?
Yeah, just his body and his size, his ability to protect the rim, and his physicality. It allows Great to not just get beat on for 40 straight minutes. It allows, Wilhelm to get a break. We haven't had a break. They haven't. And if either of those two get in foul trouble, or when Wilhelm got hurt, I believe against Washington State, he didn't play the last 30 minutes of that game, and didn't play at all against Seattle U. We were basically playing with just Great in there in both those games. And so, that depth, but, you've seen some of the Big Ten teams that have come in here. They all roll in with 5 or 6 bigs, and, that's been kind of one of our, it's been a hardship for us this year, with him and Chris not playing. But he changes shots. Even if he doesn't block shots, he changes shots, with his athletic ability and physicality jumping around the rim.
So then, again, a possibility for the next game, or would that be too soon?
Probably too soon because he still hasn't practiced.
Okay. So
Yeah.
And then you also didn't have 2 guys out there with DJ Anko and with Jace.
Yeah, Jace got. He got bumped in the head before the Michigan State game, and DJ tweaked his ankle when we were walking through Michigan's OBs or something like that. I don't know.
And their status for the next game?
I haven't heard. I haven't got the report yet from our trainer for today on either one of those guys today.
With DJ out, that's your shooter. I mean, he's probably your best shooter.
But it was great because we went 9 of 21, and we're against Michigan without him, and I thought for the most part, like even 9 of 21, we missed 12. Like the 12 we missed were open, and they were good shots. Like they're shots we want our guys taking.
When I look at Christian King, he can obviously shoot, but it's not happening in games. I don't know if it's confidence, just getting better shots. What do you need to do to get Christian going?
Yeah, I think in conference, I think he's 1 for 8 in conference, but he's shooting good shots. The length and athleticism is different in conference. Like, he kind of came out of the gates and he's shooting well, and I still believe him. I love how he shoots the basketball, and anytime he's open, I want him shooting, and our team needs him shooting because I think he's that good of a shooter. But there is your shot has to get off quicker. Like the length and athleticism is different in the Big Ten, and now you've been scouted. At the beginning, you're getting some open looks, and, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, he's a shooter when he gets on the floor. Guys aren't leaving him open as much on pick and pops, or things like that. And so, it's an adjustment. He's a freshman, playing against that stuff. But I don't think he's forcing any shots. And like I said, he's one guy I trust when he shoots the ball.
You've got him at times along with, Iheanacho having to defend the post at times. How hard is that for them to do that?
They got to. It's Big Ten basketball, and you got to be able to guard what, the position you play. You got to be able to guard it. I thought Tyree, Tyree will get there and fight. And if there's a loose ball, if anybody gets it, it's Tyree. And I pointed that out on film with our guys. Anytime there's a 50-50 ball and he's on the court, somehow he comes up with it or he's close to it. Now, we need the other 4 guys on the court with him with that same sort of, quick to the ball, that anticipation and aggressiveness to come up with those. But he battles in the post. I don't know if you meant to say Luis because he's playing more 4, not Tyree. And he's battling down there, and he's strong. But, yeah, it's what we got right now with guys being out.
And Casey and Beckway. He didn't play a lot, early in the season, and now he's going in there, and you really, really need him.
Yeah.
It's just, can he give you what you really need?
He can, and he showed that. He's got to be more consistent with it. I think his effort, even since Christmas, now it's really hard to play him when they have a small lineup out there. And it's like that with anybody because it's not like he's out on the perimeter moving his feet and playing on the perimeter a lot, even offensively. And so, I knew once we got into Big Ten playing, we were playing against multiple bigs. And we told him this is your time now. Now is your time to produce. And I think he's given us some really good minutes. Ball screen defense wise, he's probably been our best big, in conference play. Now, rebounding wise and things like that, yeah, he's got to up the ante on that. But I like when he has a guy on his back offensively and we throw it to him, he scores. He scores or gets fouled. And, we've missed him a couple times when he's posting up and 2-3 feet from the basket. We have to throw him the ball down there because he is a load and he's got a good touch down there.
Early thoughts on Purdue. I just honestly, I just haven't seen much of them. Remember them last year with the big kid. Obviously, they're totally different from last year. What does jump out is these past 4 games that they've just really been playing well in these past 4 games. Just what do they look like?
Yeah, it's Purdue. Kind of like Michigan State. What you're getting when you play them, and they're not going to beat themselves. They're playing kind of similar to last year. It's not like night and day. They're still running a lot of the same stuff because, the Kaufman kid's terrific, on their team too. Now, he's not 7'4" like Edey was. That was generational. But he's a damn good player. And they still got all those shooters around him, Fletcher Lawyers, dynamite on the wing, and the point guard, Braden Smith. Last year he was one of the best point guards in the country. I think he was up for National Player of the Year last year that Edey won. But even this year, he was on some preseason Player of the Year lists. I think he had 15 or 16 assists the other night, and he scored 105 or whatever they did. But, that's what type of team they can be. Their pace, I want to say they were in the 300s, they don't just they will race it at you on misses, you know, and they're very smart. But other than that, like they come up, they run their stuff, and they're elite at it. And that's why they've been so good under Coach Painter forever. You know, they screen you, their guards come off, you know, these kind of DHO wheel actions, and they really put you in a bind with the speed that and the pace that once they do go, they're going. And like everybody in this league, you know, they got shooters all over the floor and capable bigs.
Is there like a head of the snake with that team? I mean, it would seem like it's Braden.
Yeah.
But, you know, because honestly, I don't think I remember last time a kid averaged 9 assists in college.
Yeah, I mean, probably just because he has the ball in his hands a lot, you know, and he's more than capable of going and getting 25. You know, but he does kind of run their team and facilitate stuff for everybody. And that's not to say like on any given play, any of those guys can go. You know, but he is just being the point guard, and you know, I imagine he's probably the leader of that team. You know, just watching film, you see how he controls huddles and things like that. But they all do their job. You know, like they screen, they roll hard, they sprint the screens, and like I said, they make you beat them. You know, like we're gonna have to make shots. Like they're gonna pack the paint just like everybody else has against us, and we got to step in and be confident and knock some of those down, like DJ did against Illinois and how he did against Maryland and teams like that.
You know, and then you know, it's probably too simplistic to like say, but that game plan that you had against Maryland, you know, when like you guys just played so well, is it just? Can you just say, let's just play like that? If we do that, then we give ourselves a chance every night, or is that way too simplistic?
No, and it's funny you said that because we actually talked about that in film. Like we got out of character, like we played pretty similar to that against Illinois also. Like we're not a team. We're not built to play fast on misses right now. You know, I wish we were because that's how my teams usually play, but we're not. Like analytically watching film, like you can see it, you know, like, and so especially on on makes, you know, we have to get our point guards need to organize us. We got to come up like Purdue, everybody knows the call, and boom, then we play with pace, and we make sure we get a good shot, because you know the way we're shooting, you know, I got our numbers in conference right now, you know, we don't want to get a high possession game right now, you know, because if it does, it doesn't favor us, you know. And so we have to be very strategic and very, you know, precise in making sure on offense we're getting the best shot and we're making them work. And then that way our transition defense is better because we're getting a good shot up. And then we got to lock in defensively and really guard the last, you know, 8 seconds of every possession because that's where a lot of our breakdowns have been. We're guarding the actions. Like scout detail-wise, this group's been pretty good. And we'll guard it, and then it comes down to just mano-a-mano, and we're getting blown by. You know, and that's where we have to improve.
And then just my last one, just in these last 16 games, so just what do you want to get accomplished here? You know, you kind of inferred that, hey, maybe this isn't going to, you know, happen for this season, but we're going to learn lessons for, like, next season, but in these last 16 games, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta play the right way. You know, like we can't show up like we did at Michigan State. You know, and for whatever reason, not have great energy and not have great effort. Not being able to, you know, we have to be able to control our emotions. You know, when you're not making shots, you have to play harder defensively. We gotta do better at the little things, you know, that I've always say, like, that's what winning entails. And that's why some of the teams that consistently win, like Purdue, they do all the little things. They screen you. They box you out on free throws. You know, we had 2 box outs in Michigan that we missed on free throws. One, they kicked it out, hit a 3. The other one, the ball went out of bounds. They got it. They got an and one. And so that's 6 points right there off free throw box outs. And, you know, those are the things that 6 points is huge at the end of a game. You know, and you know we're not talented enough and we're not good enough, you know, right now to not do those things at an elite level to give ourselves a chance to win.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
You bet.